Happy New Year's. This time of year, a great many people make pledges or resolutions for becoming healthier or to lose weight. And when they make this type of resolution, the first thing that they do is start looking for some type of fad diet or equipment that lady claim that it's the best for losing weight and shaping the body and all of that. You know, as a person who do family trees for others, I found that people should look at their family tree if they really are serious about getting healthy, because it's a lot easier to mimic the habits of someone who is genetically related to you than a stranger. So I suggest to people to look at their family tree and see who managed to live a long time and was healthy and happy. The attitude is important too. So you can find those things out, because I looked at my own family tree and my husband's family tree, and it wasn't hard for us to find people like that, because it wasn't that long ago. Our people left the farm, if you will, and we was able to look and see how they ate, because today there's still many of our family living on old homesteads and growing food and raising animals and all of that. So it's not hard for us to see examples of how our elders live, and that's what I suggest people do this year. Instead of going getting the latest pill and all of that, look at how you're eating and how you're living. Is that like your elders, the ones that lived a long time? I'm not talking about the ones who came to the city, lived 80 years, but 80 years of hell because they were sick all the time. Had hands full of pills and couldn't tend to their needs anymore. We're not talking about them. We're talking about the people that were youthful, that they worked their farms till the day they died. They grew their own food. They were happy people. Those are the examples we should use. And another thing, we need to shatter illusions about ourselves. Illusions that were created by other people. For instance, I was listening to a program the other day, and the conscious black males was making fun of soul food. But, they were blaming soul food for the obesity. Now, on the surface, yeah, it seems that way. But not once did they question who demonized soul food and why is soul food bad all of a sudden. And I'm saying all of a sudden, but it started in the 70s. Because I remember watching black programs where they was demonizing black food. Like Good Times, they had many episodes where they told the audience that soul food was causing high blood pressure and this and that and heart disease. But our people didn't understand that was programming us against our own stuff. Because remember, our folks lived a long time. They stayed healthy and lived long lives. So they had to break that, and I'm talking about they, meaning those in charge now, had to break that cycle and make us a weak people. They can't have strong people, strong, healthy people, long-living people under their servitude. Yes, servitude. Or if you prefer slave. This Western society is a slave system. and they couldn't afford to have strong people trying to dictate to strong-minded and physically strong people. They couldn't do it. So what they do, they tear you down. They break you away from how you've been eating and how you've been thinking and how you've been functioning. They demonize those things. So here we are, 40 years later, and we are saying the exact same things that pale people have been telling us about ourselves and believing it to be true. They said we was from Africa. They said that we was dumb. They said that we can go on and on. We know as a people that's a pile of crap. But yet we accept them telling us that soul food is bad for us. And we think nothing of it. We accept them telling us how we should live, when we have living examples of how we should live. So this year, I suggest to my people to think for themselves and to question everything. You want to get healthy? Then look at your people. Look at your family. Go as far back as necessary so that you can have a clear understanding what you need to do, what your genetics will respond to. I know many people don't speak on this, but I will. We don't drink enough water. That's another shortcoming. That's another reason why we see so much obesity. We don't drink enough water, and we don't consume the right type of salt. Sea salt. The reason why you hear people talk about sea salt so much is because sea salt is salt that is unprocessed and still have all the trace minerals in it. Table salt, on the other hand, is bleached, and it's also the trace minerals are removed. Someone told me that table salt have, 1/3 salt, 1/3 sand, and 1/3 glass. Now, I don't know if that's true. That's just something I was told. I did not do the research to back it up. But sea salt, on the other hand, the trace minerals are still within it. That's why it's like everything is in balance. You need the extra minerals, the different minerals like magnesium, and calcium to support the sodium. That's why when people consume sea salt, their blood pressure don't go up, because they have those trace minerals in that to give support to the main mineral, which is sodium. And water. The water. We got to drink water. We are supposed to, believe it or not, according to a doctor by the name of Dr. Batmanghelidj, who've done some studies on water, we're supposed to drink half our body weight in ounces of water every day. And we're supposed to consume sea salt. I think the recipe calls for a 1/4 teaspoon sea salt for every quart of water that we drink a day. And that would keep our bodies healthy. We wouldn't suffer from as many diseases. Which, when you break the word down, dis-ease. Disease is really dis-ease, meaning your body is not at ease. So, looking at our family trees and analyzing who's healthy and how they was healthy and all of that, and drinking our correct amount of water and consuming sea salt instead of table salt, 2014 should be a very good year for a great many people if they just follow that advice. Follow that advice. And if you question anything that I'm saying, that's a good thing. Look it up. Look it up what I'm saying to you. Look at your family. All of that is readily information that is readily available to you. And I suggest you utilize it. Don't just take my word for it, just utilize the information. But see if it's sound. Apply it in your own life. But whatever you do, stop believing the nonsense that don't stand up to the weight of examination. I and my husband and my mom, we've begun our journey of ancestral eating, soul food eating. And every day is soul food day. Every day. Some people say, oh, I only have soul food maybe once a week. Every day for us. And people are not complaining of aches and pains. Weight is coming off. Skin is clearing up. Hair is getting a little darker. So it's something to it. Now, the key to eating soul food is to get food that is properly grown, not the commercially grown stuff, not that genetically modified stuff, but things that belong in nature. Stuff grown from heirloom seeds. See, natural food our bodies can respond to because it's nutritious. When they start manipulating the food, it's less and less nutritious. That was a study they did, and I think it was 2008, where they found that the food was more than 50% less in value, nutritional value, than in the 1950s. Do you get what they just said? That the food is not nutritious. It only have half the nutritional value that it had in the 1950s. So what's changed? What's changed was how it's being grown. You used to have a bunch of family farms that grew food. Now what you have are corporate farms, and they're about producing a product for cheap. And that means that they're going to use whatever means necessary to make the plants grow in abundance and rush it to market. They don't care if it's not nutritious. They just want it to look like it's supposed to look and grow really fast. So again, when you have inferior food, you're going to have health problems. So keep that in mind when you're bashing. I'm not saying you personally, but when you hear people bashing soul food, understand that they don't see the bigger picture of why soul food has been demonized. Who did the demonizing? Because obesity is not a black problem, as some people have said. It is not a black problem. It is a Western society problem. Because everybody who go in the store and buy that stuff in the store, the produce in the store, the packaged foods in the store, they are subjected to the same foods that is void of nutritional value. So it don't matter if you're a vegetarian or not. We all suffer malnutrition. And we don't know because we're still functioning. And as I said, we can look at ourselves and we're not seeing our ribs and our shoulder bones sticking out and all of that. So we figure we're healthy. Well, we're healthy according to Western society standards, which I might add is flawed. You see, Western society prey on its own people because Western society is based in greed. Greed said make money no matter what. And so in order for the medical industry to be profitable, that means that you have to be sick. So they're going to endorse anything that's going to keep you sick and keep money in their pockets. That's real talk. That's not fantasy. That's why natural remedies are not embraced by traditional medicine. And speaking of which, the people back in the day used to just walk outside their back door and pick whatever plant they needed to pick to remedy what ailed them. So, in a nutshell, while people are making a New Year's resolution, which will last all of 2 months, before they decide, oh, what the heck, I ain't gonna ever make it, and throw their hands up. They need to look long term. They do. They need to rediscover themselves. And that's what 2014 should be, a year of rediscovery. Because a lot of information is coming out about who we are on this land. And we need some wisdom behind that knowledge. We need to be familiar with the land. And right now, our people are not familiar with the land. They're not familiar with themselves. They are calling aspects of themselves bad and evil and not needed. Because, again, we've been separated from our real selves for so long that the enemy is anybody who cannot allow us to be in our natural state. Well, that enemy, their sole purpose is to keep you separated from who you are. Because when you're separated from who you are, you're weak. And you believe anything and can be manipulated to do anything. So 2014 is a powerful year. Every year is going to be powerful, but this is especially powerful because now you get to look at your whole self. Look at your family tree in more than one way. So, even though the new year don't technically start until March, I just would like to take this time and wish you a very prosperous and abundant new year. And may it be filled with a lot of knowledge that will lift you to be your best self.